Hello everyone. Today I'd like to share with you how to do some French knitting using this easy mini knitter knitting loom. This is a loom which rotates and it's one that I've not used before, so I'm very excited to have the opportunity to actually use it. What is great about this loom is that it comes with two changeable loom sizes. As you can see, there's a large and a mini, as well as a little pick to help you with your stitches. On the back of this loom there are some instructions on how to cast on, knit, as well as cast off. To create French knitting you will need some scissors, the loom and wool of your choice. So I'll get myself ready and let's get started. Here are the pieces of the loom: the main barrel, the knitting pick, as well as the two looms. So to assemble this, for my sample I'm going to use the larger loom. So you just match the grooves and click into place. You can see that it rotates. To cast on, select your wool and insert the wool through the center of the loom so that it passes through, and hold with your finger into place. Now we're going to wind the wool onto the pegs on this loom. So I'm going to start by going with this first loom piece or peg, and I'm just wrapping it around in an anti-clockwise direction, and you can see how easy this is, and with the rotating loom piece makes it very easy. And now I've come back to the beginning. Oops. Just rewind those pieces on. With this particular loom, there's a piece here, and this is for your wool, and it's a wool guide. So I'm going to put my wool guide as so. So as you can see, I'll do that again. I've just put the wool over and I've pressed it down. The thing that's wonderful about this loom is you can rotate it. So I'm going to rotate it round, and you can see how it's starting to wind. So here is where the knit piece comes in handy. There's a little groove here, so I can slide up and over. And because this is the first rows, it's always a little bit tricky to start, so you have to keep pressing down. Slide it across and repeat that again. Up and over, and just tug at the bottom. Slide it across. And as you get a few rows done, it becomes easier. So I'll complete this row and then I'll move into fast forward mode, just so that you can see how easy this really is. Like in the center. I'm going to take this away for a while and do some more so that you can actually see it taking shape and coming through the center, and I'll be back to show you how to cast off. I'm just back to show you an update of my progress so far. So you can see what the center is looking like from my knitting. One thing I've discovered, that as I'm going around, sometimes the wool creeps up. If you're having difficulty looping over, simply press down with your finger. I'll just do a few more stitches just so you can see what this looks like. So I've just rotated the loom around, and with the pick I slide up the groove to catch the bottom loop to slide up and over. Rotate around, slide under the loop, grab it, then up and over. You can see things are starting to creep up, so I just gently tug in the center and press down around the loom with my finger, pull the wool and continue as before. So slide through the groove, get the loop, up and over, and again. So just adjusting the loops. Remember that you are sliding over the wool to create that loop which forms the stitch. One wonderful thing about knitting on a store-bought loom is that your stitches are tight and even. In a previous video I showed you how to create your own loom using a toilet roll and paddle pop sticks. This is still an excellent loom for you to learn. Having the skill using that sort of loom enables you to use that on all various types of looms. It's a good loom to start with, and it's something that you can always fall back on with your French knitting. So as you can see, it's starting to come through and the stitches are even and fairly tight, making my stitches very consistent, which is something that doesn't always happen when you use a toilet roll loom. So I'll just do a few more and then I'll pause this so that I can knit off camera so that I can show you what it looks like when it comes through the base. This is my progress so far, and as you can see all my stitches are very even and it looks quite attractive. I'm very pleased with how this has turned out. I've created or formed rather a fairly good sense of rhythm as I've been knitting, so I'll just share with you other ways that you can help quicken your stitches. So as you can see, this is where my last loop is. So I'm just going to slide my loom around a few rotations so I can actually do a few stitches at once, and then I just rotate again. And I found that this sped up the process. As you can see, I still do have to adjust and I just tug. Having my thumb where it is also keeps my wool firm through the wool holder here, which helps me in this process as well. It makes it just a little bit easier to grab that little stitch to pull over to form the loop on the loom. So I'll just do a few more, and you do have to just keep adjusting every now and then and continue knitting. So you might do one if you wish, or you may do 2 or 3 at a time. This is very relaxing, and I think I've only been doing this whole loom for maybe 10 minutes, and you can see how quickly your work progresses using this particular size. So I'll just do these last 2 and then we'll start our process for casting off, which is securing your work and removing it from the loom. To do this you need some scissors, and I'm just going to take some extra wool off from my ball of wool. So I'm still going to go in the same direction. So what I'm going to do is wrap my wool as I have been doing so, and keep it taut through the wool holder. I'm going to very carefully thread the wool through each of the loops, And to do this, I'm just going to use my pick to loosen my loop that's already on my loom. So what I'm going to do is, actually, I've changed my mind. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to pull this loop, and you might have a blunt needle, but I'm just going to use my fingers, and I'm just going to slide the wool through the loop. So I might use this just to pull it through a little bit, and to carefully, if you can see, thread through here. And when I can, I'm just going to grab it with my fingers, pull it off the loom, and you'll see that it's connected. I'm going to repeat that, so just loosen this stitch that's on the loom, pull it away, and thread through with the wool. And if you need to use the little pick that we used before, you can do so. So I'm just going to slide that off and pull through all the way around. And it's becoming looser as I'm going through. I'm just going to put this in fast forward mode so you can see what I'm doing, and then I'll show you that final step. Second last stitch, so I've slowed things back to normal, and now I'm up to my final stitch. So very carefully I'm going to do the same as before, slide the loop carefully off the loom, and now it's fully released. So I'm going to pull it through, and you can see this is what I've created. And now I'm going to pull the entire piece, and it's secure. So I'm just going to trim my wool, and I'm going to do an extra loop with my finger, slide the wool through, pull it through, and that will form a tight knot. But I need to slide this down so it's as close as possible to my original loop, and I might just have to fiddle around with that a little bit. Same with the bottom. I'm just going to do an extra loop just to secure that in place. The next challenge is what to do with this. There's lots of fun things to do. You might stitch it round to create a rag. There are some suggestions on the packaging of some things that you can create too. There's a nice bracelet, some fun toys. You might even want to make a nice embellishment such as a bow and add a really fancy flower to it as well. That might create a nice touch to something that you have, like a pencil case, put it on elastic, wear it in your hair as a gift for someone as well. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. This easy mini knitter I purchased from Spotlight, and it was quite inexpensive. It was under $5. It comes in different colours. I've purchased a blue one here. I saw pink and purple, all different colours, but they all do the same job. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial and you'll give it a go. Thanks for stopping by.